honest.
Hello and welcome to Pierogeeks. It's the full dozen episode, it's the 12th one we are doing, and tonight we're covering the Rings of Power and the House of the Dragon. Two series on very much the opposite sides of the spectrum of expectations and delivery. And, well, have I been delivered? I mean, my liver has been removed by the Rings of Power. And well, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it's gonna be the perfect combination with the House of the Dragon, which is coming back from the ashes of season 8 of Game of Thrones and Daenerys, blowing everything up.
A very interesting comparison. Two fantasy shows coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
In some ways, they are mirrors of each other. Like one is coming back after a disastrous previous entry,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones season 8, with House of the Dragon, or also known as House of the Wyvern, for those of you who care about such things. And this one comes back after a successful last foray with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies. So here we had a comeback. One is a phoenix coming back from the ashes, and the other one is supposed to be just, I don't know.
Come on your back.
Coming on your back? I don't know. It was supposed to be good because, we expected it to be good. Like, hey, Lord of the Rings was good before.
I mean, maybe the Hobbits weren't that good, but still, there was a certain level of quality, which isn't met here, I'm afraid, when it comes to Lord of the Rings. Well, in our last episode, we covered 3 episodes, I think, and we were cautiously optimistic. We were thinking that maybe it can still get better. But unfortunately, the further you go, the worse it gets, actually. And it's not only bad, it's boring. It's
so dull.
If you're a lore fan, you're gonna hate it. If you don't care about the lore, you're gonna be bored with it.
Yeah.
So basically, a short summary of it, and there is a lot of things that are just ridiculous, especially the dialogues, the scale of things. The series is beautiful to look at, but the scale itself is just so weird. Like Life of Brian had more,
grandiose
background actors than this crap. I mean, they copy pasted some soldier from what I've heard, and even if you get like plot points like Numenor, which they completely, screwed up. They send army to the Middle Earth, and they send 3 ships, for example. In the next episodes, you have 300 people riding on horses suddenly. So this is just bad writing.
I have to say, like the scale thing, that might be just a symptom of the times, because everything has been recorded in COVID, So during C-19. So they can't have everyone on the set all the time, so that might be
That chestnut is getting a little old. That's just
but it's
come on,
that
man.
that's no excuse. I mean, they had $1 billion.
Look,
exactly.
if you had look, it's very simple. If you had trouble during production, things couldn't work. Hey, I am full of empathy for you. You can always delay it.
Yeah.
Make it better. And
Yeah.
come back.
Wouldn't be
Can't
the first
do that,
time.
Gotta do it this way. Well,
Especially it's season 1. It's not like all the people in the world are demanding season 2 or 3 of this crap.
Yeah,
You're
because
just
there's a
starting.
big cliffhanger. No,
Yeah.
come on. It's like there's we covered all the controversies with casting and whatnot, and actually
the controversies
Yeah.
that suddenly disappeared when the
who
series
cares?
started to
Yeah.
air. Why? Because it's so
because everything
dumb.
else is so fucking
Yeah. Like,
dumb.
honestly, if you're complaining about that stuff now, it's like you're reaching, bro. Like you don't even have to
Oh,
try that
yeah.
hard. It's like you get basic stuff is wrong with this stuff.
Actu-
So honestly,
Yeah.
based on because as you mentioned, we talked about the series before. We were cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
But when you watch the whole thing, expecting that it's gonna get somewhere, it doesn't. Everything since our last episode has changed. I can smell it.
But I just
can feel it in the water.
I just want to point out that the controversies regarding race, were greatly exaggerated because the two actors of color that are, because I don't think there were more.
Yeah, that's
Right?
There were more with the Harfoots though.
Yeah.
If you
Oh
can.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Forgot about those pesky, vile, disgusting.
Yeah, but
creatures.
no one actually cared for the Harfoots, and no one was outraged
gets left
by
behind.
colorful
Unless you break the
Harfoots.
I'm sorry. I have
But
to
then
interject.
no. First, I want to finish because all that controversy just faded away because you get other things going on, and the actors playing the elf and the dwarf
True.
in the series.
So it's a shame that Arondir's plotline didn't go anywhere. In fact, they forgot about it. For the last two episodes, you
where's
you
the
don't
guy?
see him.
Where's the guy, right?
I mean, it's not like I'm just like a super fan, but at least he was more interesting than most other characters, and then suddenly he just disappears. We don't know what happened.
He had potential. He had potential to be like an interesting new take on Legolas, but it just doesn't go anywhere. They don't do anything with him. However, Disa, the wife of Durin, amazing. I loved her. I loved every scene she was in practically. But the dwarf stuff, like I said, when it comes, if you take away all the lore stuff and you kind of try really, really hard, there is some good scenes with her, with Durin, with Elrond. I mean, every time they have this kind of, they sit down at the table, I was like, okay, I'm into this. This is cool.
Yeah.
I like the banter. I bought
the
that
chemistry
they were, like,
was
friends.
there, right?
Yes, I bought that they were like friends that didn't see each other for a long time. I totally bought that.
And he's pissed that he didn't come for his
Yeah,
wedding.
that
Actually made
cool.
sense. Yeah.
The way he comes into Moria and they have this contest, and later it was like, I just let you win. I was just so cool. I love that
it's
stuff.
like, you bastard.
You're
Yes,
like a dwarf
I
elf,
like
and I'm
that.
an elf dwarf. Again, that sounds a little weird when it's like in Tolkien, but again, I kind of, these few scenes that they had together, the dwarf stuff, I bought it. Even though, again, everything was shit. I was like, okay, I'm kind of enjoying these actors playing these guys. Like, I want to see more of that.
That was good, but then you come to the episode in which you find out that the dwarves actually don't want to mine because it's too dangerous, because 4 guys or 5 guys were lost. Not killed even, just lost and then found. So yeah, here we go. Do we have dwarves that are afraid to mine?
You just have no respect for workplace safety, okay? They just didn't have the proper training for this kind of mining, okay?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So the king is like, no, we will not mine the mithril, not because, there's a threat underneath. There are some legends about some monster. No, nothing like that. It's just
just because.
I think this is like an allegory. I think they're trying to do this kind of thing where Durin the younger, the one we like, is kind of like a liberal, and Durin the older is like a conservative. And
Yeah,
damn liberal.
but how much on the nose can you get with dialogue,
I know,
right? I
no,
mean,
it's not an allegory. It was just poor writing. They needed some obstacle for Durin, and that was the first thing that came to their heads. Oh,
well,
he
what
has a
about
father who doesn't want to mine.
how tropey? How tropey?
Not to mention that technically they weren't supposed to be, I think, at the same time. I mean, they're not supposed to be doing it at the same time. It's a small lore nitpick, but it's like there's not supposed to be like there's supposed to be one Durin at a time, and when one dies, then the next one becomes Durin. It's like a title of honor.
Oh, also a brand new thing.
Okay.
Mithril is like a anti-kryptonite for elves, turns out.
Don't remind
Like,
me.
what is this shit? Like, elves need mithril to get their light back or something, and how? What? It's like, what do they do? Do they smear the mithril on them and then they heal?
Reminds me of the
just
light
ridiculous.
crystals from God of War.
Yeah,
Look,
this is
the
one of those
elves
things
just
that they just
need-
came up from nowhere. This is one of the additions to the story, if you're interested. And this is that kind of shit that we have to deal
Look,
with in
the
this
elves
series.
just have a vitamin M deficiency. It's
my-
vitamin M mithril, and they need it, okay? They need mithril vitamin pills to get better.
Guys, casual. I don't remember the lore of Lothar that well, but I remember I loved it the one time that I've seen it, or the 2 times that I've seen it. But this was so boring. Like we're covering the dialogue, and it's so stiff and wooden. I mean, you would think it came out of the fucking water and Driftmark, man.
But
Galadriel, why can't you stop fighting? Because I can't. Yeah. Or there's a tempest in me. Yeah. Or
that sounds like a line from a musical. There's a tempest in me.
Honestly, I wish there was more singing in this show. I think it needed more singing.
Yeah, I understand that Tolkien and the world of Middle Earth, it's not Game of Thrones. It's not like sex,
Not
violence, and profanities all the time. Nothing like that, and that's okay. But it doesn't mean that the dialogues have to be like made by Pinocchio.
Actually, I'm sorry. I have to disappoint you. There now is profanity in Tolkien because Durin almost says shit.
Oh yes, that's true.
So
But
no
he
longer
didn't.
sorry.
But
now
he
it's-
didn't?
But
He
he
did
didn't.
almost say it.
That almost
And
doesn't
also,
count.
you said earlier that and I wanted to interject. You said that nobody cares about the Harfoots. How dare you, sir? I do care about them. I care about them being killed by anything that comes around. When the priestesses do the whole and they go on fire, I was like, yes!
Okay, that's a good segue for me to say the things that I liked actually about the show, because the priestesses, I guess they were pretty amazing,
Yeah,
especially
but
the
why
one.
were they Nazguls? They look like
Complete
Nazguls.
complete betrayal
dude,
of the Lord. But
Okay,
Yeah,
you know, fine. I get that, but you know, they were kind of intimidating until they
Until they got a rock out to
they
the
got
head.
smoked.
yeah, but
Rock to
they
the
were
head.
pretty
They
intimidating.
got
The fire blowing move was pretty badass.
That was cool.
Yeah, I
Okay,
really like
agree. You
that.
give
And
that.
actually,
was
the
cool.
the magical fights with between them and Gandalf, not Gandalf, that was pretty cool.
Allegedly, Gandalf.
Allegedly Gandalf. I dug that. I dug that actually.
So, were you surprised? Did you fall for this Gandalf guy's is Sauron at the beginning of the last episode?
Dude,
Or were you like,
it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and they say it's a fucking chicken, man. You know.
Yeah.
So no.
So these powerful priestesses actually confused Gandalf with Sauron.
I mean, I kind of like the idea of them not recognizing which powerful being is it.
Okay, yeah, I can buy that. It's not the worst thing. Fine.
Yeah, and because they're not going by looks, they're going by power level, not even the nature of the power. It seems because the guy is confused; he doesn't even know who he is. So okay, fine. That was quite entertaining, but you know, like. Dude, it's like, you know, a guy with a fake mustache pulls off his mustache to reveal his true identity, and there's a second mustache over it. Like, yeah, we know it's you. We've seen it, you know, from a mile away, man. Come on.
Honestly, the Gandalf thing, allegedly Gandalf thing, I think it's a triple cross. I think some people thought maybe, or they were trying to set it up anyway this way, that maybe he's Sauron. Maybe some people thought, oh, maybe he's Gandalf. I think
maybe he's
both of
Saruman.
these, I think they're, or Saruman for that. Honestly, I have a thing about that. We'll get to that later if he's Saruman.
Okay.
But honestly, I think everybody's wrong. I think that they're doing a triple cross, and it's gonna be who? Mephisto. Let's do a crossover with Marvel. Why not? Mephisto. I mean, we're going crazy anyway. The lore is completely gone. By the way, I really like. I told you this, by the way, earlier. That I love the idea if he was Saruman, because then at the end of season 2 we would have him like with the Harfoots gathered all around him, and he would like be giving him like he would have his hand in paint, and he would like be putting it on their face and be, whom do you serve? Saruman. And like an army of Harfoots. I want to see that. I want to see Harfoots kicking ass as Saruman's. Yeah.
It would have.
Harfoots are.
I mean,
We'll get to that.
I could have gone with the thing that he's Saruman if he didn't go with the line about you have to follow your nose.
Yeah, that's
Come
very.
on.
That was.
Come
that was
on.
lame. Also, we have to talk about the main character here, Galadriel.
Oh, wait. You have to follow your nose, but how on the nose was that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, what do you think about Galadriel? Then?
Oh my God.
Okay, who
Well,
wants to start?
I can start.
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, at first, we already said a few words about her after the first 3 episodes, and it's sad to report that nothing changes. First of all,
Not
she's
for the better.
super arrogant and unlikable,
Mm-hmm.
and well, she's also there's the scene with Adar, right? That they catch this guy who turns out to be like a father figure for the orcs, and she goes like full on genocidal maniac on him. She's like, I love it. She tells him like, your entire race needs to be exterminated. You're a mistake. You need to destroy you. And the next episode, the little boy is like, did you kill a lot of orcs? And Galadriel is, yes, I killed a lot of them. Good. And then, oh no, you cannot say that. That's inviting evil to your heart. Yeah, that's the consistency of the character.
I'm like,
growth.
yo, Hitler much?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Look, the
So
elves
it's
just needed more living room, okay?
Yeah. Well, she's. What else can I tell you about her? Well, she picks up on things like when she found out that Halbrand is Sauron. She found out that just because Celebrimbor used the same line that Adara used it before.
Yeah.
Expert investigator.
Yeah,
Which is-
exactly.
Put
which
one
is
and
just,
one together.
I'm sorry, that's such a stretch.
Did
that
you
it's
talk to
stupid.
him by any chance? Oh, he must be evil then.
Also, by the way, I absolutely loved that she could just basically just elf Google it
Oh, yeah.
She could be like, she just goes to an elf who looks very modern, like short hair, really short hair. Like he had a good haircut, not that whatever, but interesting haircut. And she goes like, "Oh, can you bring me the scrolls for the Southlands?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't think we have the scrolls, but I'll look." And of course, he brings her the scroll that has exactly the information.
I
And
mean-
you know what's weird also
Beautiful.
that Sauron could have lied there. He might just come up with a different story, like, oh yeah, I told you, I found it on a dead guy, or maybe, oh yeah, those inscriptions there are incomplete. They were actually unofficial kings, and I'm an unofficial king. But no, he goes, oh, you got me. Yep, I'm Sauron.
Oh!
That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
The
look,
ruse.
he plays fair, okay? It's like you got me, okay, fair and square, you got it.
You got me. Okay, will you marry me now? I mean, I'm honest, you know.
Yeah,
What more do you want from a guy?
Like honestly,
Not be
I'll
evil.
say this. I don't want to go too far into it because that would cause rage. I have now learned to kind of let go of my rage. I've kind of separated this.
No,
from Lord of
we're
the
here
Rings.
to rage on.
Yeah, but
People like that.
No, I know. But I decided to be a little bit more rational and a little bit different because honestly, I just wanted to say that the level of incompetence, or I don't know, trickery. Maybe this is like all just like a big trick by the writers. Like, how can you tell people literally to our faces in interviews straight from your mouth? You said that you have enough stuff to adapt it, that you would respect the lore, that this is all pre-planned and it's all gonna be a great. Fucking piece of Tolkien, that we respect everything. You hire you even hired a Tolkien scholar. It's like you had this stuff. Of course, they fired him later, but now we know why.
Why
Honestly,
would you?
This is a disgrace. Just wanted to give it here. It's a disgrace to the lore. We here laughed at the Mithril thing. To
Yes.
me, what got me, and from that moment, I can even tell you the one moment where I was like, I liked the show. I was kind of open to it, just like we were at the beginning. I can give you the precise moment where I knew this was over for me.
Okay.
And I knew that this was like irreparable. One moment, very early on, when they show you this seeming legend where the golden elf warrior, fights the Balrog on the mountain, and there's a tree, and the lightning strikes the tree, and Mithril. And I was like, at the moment, even if you're not a super deep lore fan, even if you just know a little bit of you heard maybe of the Silmaril or just some of the lore, it would like be instantly in your face, like, wait a minute, a tree with the power of the Silmaril? Like, well, hold on a minute. Like, even if you don't respect anything about the previous lore, you're making your own shit up. The fate of the Silmarils it's known. I think even in the Lord of the Rings, the books they had the rights to, even there it's mentioned that there were only 3 Silmarils. I think sure, somewhere it's mentioned for sure. I remember it for sure that there are 3 Silmarils and that they were lost. And we know the fate of all 3 of them, how they were lost. One was lost in a pit, one was at the bottom of the ocean, and one that they mentioned it also in Lord of the
Okay,
Rings.
but you're going into the lore too
Yes,
much.
but this is the one moment that I said, and one is on the ship with Erendil on the sky, right? Just wanted to give you this context. The 3 ones, it's mentioned in Lord of the Rings. They have the rights to those books. That's what I'm trying to make the point.
So that ticked you off, not the
No,
Mithril that smears on elves?
No, we'll get to that. That's where I'm getting to. That these 3, we know where they are, and now they come up with this idea. Oh no, this one suddenly magically appears on the mountain, and then, as you said, they connect it with this idea that they heal the elves. Just honestly, just from that moment when they took something that is completely set in stone in the books, they fuck it up. No, it was here randomly on a tree on the mountain, and oh no, lightning struck, and there was a Balrog, light and dark, boom, and it heals the elves. How it heals them? Why? Nobody knows. And
I was hoping that was just a legend or a lie told by Sauron. That would be clever, but no, it's
True.
No, everything's
I held out
true.
for a little while. It was just horrible to me. Look, I kind of got the idea that it heals the elves because in the lore there is this kind of bit where when they make the rings of power, like they technically do in this one, the 3 elven rings, the holders of those rings could create like an aura in like their area, like around them, like in Lothlorien. That it's not that the elves needed healing or that the light was leaving, but it kind of, because elves are immortal, it kind of held up this this aura that like time that the time doesn't flow as fast for them. So it kind of makes them like it's easier for them to live amongst mortals in these areas. That was it. It wasn't that they were dying and they needed healing. So they take something like a little tidbit from the lore and they completely change it. And it's throughout this entire show. We're not gonna go into obviously all the details, but this was the one thing where I was like, man, if you're doing this, I don't even care about anything else. And then I thought I was already done, that I made my decision about the show, and then they go deeper and deeper, and the stuff we mentioned, it gets worse and worse and worse. It's like, I don't know why. What?
One of my favorite
complete betrayal.
One of my favorite fuck ups was with Celebrimbor. This guy is supposed to be the master blacksmith, like the one of the greatest in the history
ever,
of
grandson of Fëanor.
And then the Halbrand comes in. This master, Elven Smith has problems with Mithril, and then Celebrimbor comes in.
It's
like,
too.
Hey,
there's too little of it.
Yeah. Did you know that you can mix different alloys?
It's not gonna
get
work.
Different qualities. What? You can mix alloys? How is that possible? That this Elven master blacksmith that never knew about that? Oh god, I don't even have the strength to talk about. This is this kind of stupidity that it's just.
This is Jeff Bezos in the fucking fantasy world, because you know you have. Well, the guy had always had access to all the ores, and he never came up with the idea to have alloys.
Yeah, this is so stupid.
It's like it's like Jeff
I'm
Bezos.
Too much pressure. I don't know what to do. Hey, try less pressure. Brilliant. Never thought about it.
Yeah. Man.
Just horrible. This is
written by children.
So
I think
dumb.
that people like maybe in their fucking teens or 20s
they will.
This because
Gen
this
Zs?
is like bad fan fiction.
No, I think they're in their 20s or early 30s. I think.
Okay, two things. First of all, except for the magic. I mean, actually, the magic. The dark magic, the unseen world stuff. You know, I enjoyed, because you know the hilt, was there, and it actually. I actually felt like, you know, the magic is
on Switch on Mordor.
No. I mean, it was used as that, but I mean, you know, like in the first episodes, they show off the symbols of Sauron and whatnot, and it actually carries some weight and power to it, and you know, it scares Galadriel. Okay, I buy that. You know, I dig it. Okay. But oh man, where was I going with this? Damn it, I lost it.
Well,
I can actually help you out with this, because I have a very interesting point, in the sense that I think maybe this is where we're going with this. That you know that there are some parts of the show, especially like the visuals, for example, that you can say are. Like, there is something nice to look at.
It's digestible.
There is some stuff in here that, honestly, I kind of feel like if they just didn't do Tolkien, but they did some other new universe, and they could do whatever they wanted. Sure, the writing would still be kind of shitty, because we see that this quality is terrible. But maybe without the burden of Tolkien, without the burden of all this stuff,
the pressure,
we wouldn't be judging it so harshly. It would be like, okay, maybe I don't love it, but it's okay. But because they have the burden of the lore, and they are changing it and making it different. Look, we always knew that they would need to do some adaptations, because the lore here is it's not a book. It's sketchy fragments in different books, right? So they would have to make some stuff up and kind of dramatize it. I always knew this. But the way that they're changing the lore and making it just completely unnecessarily, just twisting it around, making it weird, it's like you're losing me, man. It's like, if you made your own thing, maybe I wouldn't be judging you, because it's your own thing. I'm kind of open to a new adventure. But here, man, you want to do Tolkien, you got to do it right. Okay?
I know.
Even without that, like, for example, another thing, Heartfoots. The guys are singing, "No one gets left behind."
Oh my God.
And then they're like, "Yo."
A guy breaks his foot, and they're like, "Okay,
well,
sorry, we gotta leave you.
Bye.
Bye." Yeah. So
see you next life.
It's inconsistency. That's what it is.
They didn't read the script from the previous episode. It's
yes.
Like they made an episode and they filmed it, and they was like, "Okay, we gotta do the Harfoots again." Okay, so maybe this time we'll just leave people behind. What a great idea! Hey, wasn't that in the previous episode? No, shut up.
Did you see the script I sent you yesterday? What script?
Same with Galadriel being a genocidal maniac in one episode, and another one. You cannot say these things.
Look, she learned her lesson.
I know what I wanted to say. It gives me a vibe of a series made by Christians, like like really Christian rock, like
Hallelujah.
Oh, it's Faith +1. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because it's. Yeah, you always knew that the Lord of the Rings is an allegory for faith and all that, and light, dark. Yeah, fine, but I as a teenager never felt it as on the nose as here, and this is just really like, oh my God, oh.
When it's done with the artistry of Tolkien, where he could like build the entire world around it. And yes, there are some Christian themes in it, obviously, but it's hidden beautifully in this wonderful world. Here, it's like, okay, this is what happens when you take that same concept, but you do it shittily. And
but
it's like,
there was one
by Christians
that was
for Christians.
The orcs actually have their own like a different path, that they don't want to be slaves anymore. That's why they follow this Adar guy, and that was kind of cool. I think orcs not just being mindless goons this time.
Yeah.
Maybe. Honestly, again, in another universe where it doesn't have the burden of the Tolkien lore, I would be like, yeah, that's an interesting concept. I agree with you. But in Tolkien, look, I know it may be a little bit old-fashioned, but in Tolkien it was good versus evil, and I kind of like that simplicity. Yes, the orcs are evil, and maybe in a new modern fantasy we would want to show them have depth and maybe different facets to their character, maybe different sides, maybe there's a reason they're evil. But in Tolkien, look, this is like a fairy tale on steroids, and I'm okay with it being orcs are evil and they're evil, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, maybe let's give them, maybe the orcs are not really, maybe they're thinking, maybe they have a whole civilization, that they have ideas and stuff. Okay, again, in other series,
and dreams and
but
goals.
Here, man, no, let's just keep it simple, stick to the lore. I know I'm a little bit conservative here. But
I mean,
but
Tolkien,
it's special,
you're absolutely right, because on one hand they're like, well, let's give the orcs some depth, and maybe they're not as black and white, all the thing. And then you have Galadriel with killing all the orcs, going all Hitler on them, and like really, and then there's darkness in me, darkness in you. You invite darkness and light and this and come on, pick a lane, man. Come on.
Exactly. Well, guys, I think it's time for us to
yes,
get to the
let's
big stinker. No.
Oh,
the worst thing that happened in the last episode when we have a scene between Sauron and Galadriel.
Oh yeah, let's get that done, and let's to the ball swinging series.
Exactly. So what do you think about that? I mean, what happened? What happened? Let's see. Sauron actually proposed to Galadriel. He asked her if she wants to be his queen. Did you expect that? Did you think about, Sauron hitting on Galadriel, where you see the big fiery eye at the top of...
No, like, again, this is supposed to be black and white, evil versus good, yeah? And then we get a guy who's like, well, I have love in me, I am capable of love, or maybe it was a transactional marriage he proposed. Who fucking cares, honestly?
Yeah.
But so they insinuate that he's capable of love, a high emotion, of light and warmth and acceptance. And then he's a Dark Lord, man. Is he supposed to be evil because he got rejected by a girl? Man,
Look,
come on,
honestly,
man. What is he,
not really a Dark
13?
Lord. He's more like a Grey Lord now. It's like, you're not really dark. You're more like...
I'm gonna destroy Middle-earth because you rejected me. How dare you? And the
Because I didn't dip my stick.
Yeah, with that ridiculous close-up to the
Look,
face.
all the incels are gonna love it.
Man.
And look, you know what? I actually think that at the end, when they defeat Sauron, I think he actually knew that they were about to kill him, but they just let him win because he was like, okay, for Galadriel, I'll just let him win. Fine.
Okay,
and that's
yeah.
why they defeated him, and he didn't get Frodo at the end. That's why. He's like, oh, they're
So-
trying so hard.
so
I'll do
dumb.
it for you, Galadriel.
And the casting...
I was hoping for him to be like the Lord of the Gifts, because in the
Yeah,
lore he's a
Anatar.
very cunning character. Because he had other forms, not only the great eye that we know from the movies. That is cool, and I wanted to see him as a kind of a manipulator, guy behind the scenes working, but. Here we got a random dude in the middle of the ocean who saved Galadriel. We don't know why or how or...
And what was his plan?
Was this part of his plan? We don't know. We don't know what his plan is
He's
at
actually
all.
He's
not doing
kinda,
anything, really.
He's leaning towards a little bit of likability at some points, and then all of a sudden it's like, surprise, motherfucker! It's me, Sauron.
Let me give my final word to end this. And
Oh,
stop talking
sorry.
about it.
Just
go
one thing. Well, if he's the Lord of the Gifts, the one thing he gave me, diarrhea.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, man.
Because like to finish my final word to like what you just said, that I mean in the lore, even if it's limited, it's not what everything. You have a beautiful, cool story. Like it's laid out in front of you. You have all the points, like you said, the Lord of Gifts, all the stuff, the fall of Numenor. Spoiler alert. Whatever, right?
We've seen it in the vision,
Yeah, we've seen it in the vision. Like
Oh,
all
yeah.
this stuff is like there's this. Of course, you have to like build it up and kind of connect it all together to make it a show. Sure, I get it, but you have it all laid up. Everything is prepared for you. All you just have to like fill out the blanks. Boom, you're done. They didn't get the rights for the books that have all of that. They got the books that had only like bits of it. So like first, and you're Amazon, you have the money for it. So number one mistake, you didn't even get the stuff that you needed to do it, and then. When you're doing it, you totally fucking messed it up. Now, even if you want it in season 2, and that's the worst part, even if you want it to be like, okay, let's change the writers, let's do it again, you fucked it up so deeply. How are you gonna even get there? So to me,
There's
it's
no
like
redemption.
it's a double whammy. You didn't get what you needed, and then when you got it, you lied and you fucked it up. And it's not like, I mean, you fucked it up. That's all you gotta say. Hopeless.
One thing that just came to my mind, the dying king told his daughter,
Yes.
the only thing that awaits you in Middle Earth is darkness, and then she goes there, and she goes blind.
Yeah,
and
that's clever, man. You
so
didn't see that
man,
coming. See?
it's not about Sauron; it's about the darkness, and the darkness wasn't even that dark because what can you see? Gray.
Look, you know what?
Dude.
I think this was a little bit too subtle. I think they should have done it like this. The king is like, oh, the only thing that awaits you in Middle Earth is light. I mean, darkness.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's like, oh, brightness. Oh, that's what he said. Ooh. Don't let them see. Don't let them see that I'm blind. And the next scene, she's got a
No,
blindfold.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
This is
the
so many ridiculous things.
the
Do
let's-
we at least have some cool battles? I mean, these are 7 episodes for over 1 hour, right? Do we have some cool battles?
Yes,
we
we
have
do.
one tiny
Yes,
little battle in the, you
Very
know.
original
the priestess and
Okay,
alleged
this is
Gandalf.
more like a duel. I mean, battle
Okay.
like armies between
Okay,
armies.
no, we
got
don't.
Anything like that? No.
Yes, you had an epic battle that showed you something that you could never, ever know ever in Tolkien. The Numenorians rode horses to battle. Wow, I didn't know that. I think in the Lord
Okay,
of the
that's
couldn't.
just a whatever.
Okay,
that's a
let's
detail,
do
but,
the
It was a great battle.
let's do the
Terrible.
Sauron reveal and let's move on
was
Yes, let's move on to this shit.
because I mean
true.
you know
Never again.
he's like, okay, did you try alloys? And you know, and then Galadriel goes and presses Control F on the fucking scrolls. She finds out, and yeah, he's like, oh well, you got me. And then what happens next, man? Like, she can't even admit to her own mistakes, and she's like, well, I guess I'm gonna doom the whole fucking world because you know I'm a high being that can't even admit to her own mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. What?
Really?
Look, just because you live a couple of thousand years doesn't mean you're gonna learn manners or logic. Or reason.
Yeah.
It's
Or
so
develop
terrible.
as a
She was
character.
busy, okay? She was busy dancing.
And she was like, what? He said the same words from this. Oh God. Okay, let's
Yeah,
let's
it's
save the ratings for later after
okay.
we go with
Let's
the
go to the house.
yeah
Dragon,
House of the
please.
Dragon guys, because you know House of the Dragon, ball swinging. They had
yes.
I think they had a week of a week. They were a week in advance, yeah, from Rings of Power, and they had like 2 weeks
Yeah, I think
afterwards. So
It started slowly as well.
yes, but still,
And they had an uphill battle too.
Oh, yes.
but you know, HBO, they fucked up Game of Thrones so badly, and yet they had the audacity to release the first episode on YouTube for free, just to troll Amazon.
Yeah.
Dude, come on! That was an amazing
awesome.
move, man. This was really just coming in, ball swinging. You're like, yeah, what you got on me, bitch? What?
Yeah, man. And
Show me your best
shocking
move.
in a positive way.
Yeah.
One was shocking in a negative way, and this is shocking in a positive. I never expected it would be so good.
So you know, spoiler alert, obviously, but you know, you have good versus evil, trying to be, you know, plain and simple, and you know, and play on that, just like Tolkien intended. They fucked it up, obviously. On the other side of the spectrum, you have incest relationships, very deep incest relationships, and inbreeding and all that.
Vulgar, violent stuff.
Yeah, vile and vulgar and bloody and gory, and you ship those relationships. Come on, man. What? How? I mean, yeah, we have on all the incest porn in which is ridiculous in and of itself in our world.
We're not talking about your browser.
Yeah, but let's leave my history of browsing alone. But then you get people like, yo, I feel wrong about it, but I'm shipping a guy doing his niece.
No, but it's
Really?
but it's so beautiful.
I had people telling me that.
But no,
yeah,
I do agree that that even though with all this burden, it's written so well that you're like, yeah, I like these characters, and
Makes
honestly, I want
sense.
them to be together. Even though you're like, man, it's disgusting, but damn it, they just
All
work.
I could hear looking at that was "Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker." that was it. And I was thinking actually after watching the House of the Dragons, because as you can see, we like House of the Dragons
yeah.
more than Rings of Power, and I was thinking, is it because House of the Dragons is like more mature? You have gore, which I like. You have more adult stuff, sex, violence, swearing, and all that. But no, I could easily see me liking Rings of Power more than the House of Dragons if it was competently filmed, if the plot was good, lore friendly, interesting characters.
the dialogue would
Yes,
be more malleable.
It is possible. I could see it in an alternative
be a better
reality
adaptation?
that I would like Rings of Power more than House of the Dragon. So it's not just because this one is more for adults.
No.
And you think with all this money, they could have pulled us off.
Yeah.
Like, you can pay. Look, you have all this money. Pay good guys. Get good writers. Good stuff. Nope.
Yeah, and some people at first were saying that House of the Dragons looks like a school project next to Rings of Power. No, that's not true. You also have beautiful landscapes. The CGI sometimes fails a bit, but I think it's good enough. I like some of the shots are even epic with the dragons, for example.
Oh
It's great to be back in
yes,
King's
yes,
Landing,
Vagar
let's
and Arak or
Yeah.
whatever the small one name was. But we'll get to that. I would just want to say that the new design for the chair, I love it.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
very
It's more like in the books, like
Exactly.
because it was towering over people, and it was huge and
More
humongous.
lore accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
Lore.
And and here it's just melting on the stairs, and that works.
Yeah.
That works. And I love that Viserys is being cut by the chair, and by the throne.
Beautiful symbolism.
Yeah, and and it makes sense like in a practical way. It's a fucking chair of swords. So yeah, it might be a little bit
Itchy.
sharp. Yeah, it might be a little bit itchy here and there.
but
And just to comment on the CGI, even if I didn't notice actually, because I dug it and I wasn't nitpicky about it, but they had, even if it was lackluster in some shots, they had these little tricks that made it so good. Like for example, the long neck dragon of Daemon in the last episode, I think, when he was when he was intimidating the guards, the cloaks. And the dragon just slipped a little bit on the rocks. I noticed you, the CGI guy. You put that in, and it works so well, man.
Yeah, they did a lot. Really nitpick, just a little joke there. I love Daemon's dragon. It's really cool and creative. However, that one really does look like a wyvern. Look, I know this is different types of dragons. I get
CGI of the models they had. I think I'm not gonna put money on it. But even if they have the technology to make proper dragons this time around with another series in fantasy, it's consistent, and I respect that.
No,
I can.
Let's be fair. That's the fact that the dragons look like this in Game of Thrones is a Game of Thrones thing. It's perfectly lore accurate. I'm just like making fun that everywhere else dragons look different, but that's okay. That's fine.
Oh, actually, I don't think in the books they look like wyverns. I think they're dragons.
Remember,
books.
dragons, according to
they have 6 appendages.
General fantasy, again quotation marks, stuff. Dragons is supposed to have hind legs and front legs and the wings.
Yeah.
And here's the question. I have to check it up, but I think I have a feeling it's actually in the lore because I've never read the books, Game of Thrones books. But I think it's actually in the lore that they look this way. But I will have to check because it would be strange if they just
leave it in the comments below if you read the books.
That's
and
a
you
deep
know
cut right there.
the light is playing tricks on us. Yeah. So if you guys want to,
maybe there's a tempest in you. I need to.
Maybe there's a tempest, and you need to just calm it down with money giveaway. The link to the Patreon site is probably in one of the first episodes because Killa is not pasting in those.
I'll get on it. Don't worry, it's coming.
Well, there's the bus is coming, and you're thrown under it. No, okay.
It's coming, just like the winds of winter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm taking cues for great artists. There you go.
Yeah. No, but I'm taking a piss out of you. What?
There are budget constraints. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get back maybe to the show.
Yeah, get back on track.
So the House of the Dragon.
The cast.
So, maybe let's start with the things that we didn't like because we started with the good in the Rings of Power, then we ranted on. And
okay.
Let's do a switch. So what did I didn't like about it? Well, I didn't like. The first thing that comes to my mind, there was this crab guy at the beginning. Remember him? Crab face guy.
Oh, yeah.
That plotline was kind of pointless. They killed him off screen, and I really I didn't like that very much. He didn't even say anything.
It felt like weird. A filler episode.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But then again, it actually played into the plot, in the main plot. So, I mean. It could have been
handled better.
Could have been handled better or off screen completely, but I actually enjoyed, people being eaten inside out by crabs and dying super slowly, and it being shown,
yes,
and
that was a nice touch.
People being terrified of being just nimbled away.
And I'm not sure from the lore because I don't know it that well. But I hope that this plotline actually does. I'm not sure. Maybe it does. The return with the Triarchy. Maybe they're gonna come back sometime.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I have to check because I haven't seen the lore in like years and years for this one. But on that note, actually, I'll quickly say, as far as I know, for the most part, this one sticks to George R. R. Martin's stuff.
Yes.
Almost exactly. I think they made a couple
of
small changes.
Yeah, there are some. What it's particular about the show is the time jumps.
Yes.
Yeah, season 1 was going to be very difficult.
We have like different actors. Not everyone. Some stay the same. In some cases, it's quite
They overlap.
It's a bit confusing. Like for example, with Sir Cole, the guy, he's like a Keanu Reeves of Westeros.
He's got good genes, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Daemon.
And Daemon, of course, and the Hightower Lord.
Hightower is the biggest giveaway for me because they actually put some prosthetics on Daemon, I guess, in the later episodes.
Yeah, but those time jumps. Those were a bit confusing. I remember, I think in 6 or 7 episodes, suddenly like 5 or 6 kids pop up. Some with black hair, some with the blonde one, Tigerian ones, and it's a bit confusing. It takes a bit to get. Wait a second, who's that again?
Honestly, I think the show, even because I knew, and if you know the beginning of the lore, it was always going to be this way because the beginning of the lore is this kind of long-winded, stuff happens, then 10 years pass. So it was always going to be this way. So there had to be time skips. They couldn't really change that.
Okay, fine.
But I do admit that the show could have used like a little bit of like for example, 5 years later. Just a little, I know it's a title card. Let's still play it out. But I think it could have used it because there was, I think, a hidden time skip, the one that you mentioned, that like 5 years pass or 6 years pass, and then the kids are bigger. Yeah. And you could have just used a little time card.
I disagree. I disagree because I think they handled it like champs because they actually weaved it into the dialogue. And it wasn't something, I'm not gonna quote exact, but
it's a shaky.
still, it's not exposition like it's
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
slapped like
Well, it's definitely better than the southern lands turning
Oh my
woo
God,
into
no.
Yeah,
Mordor.
But see, again, we have two examples of how it's done right and how it's done wrong, right?
yeah.
It's just
And it's so yeah, maybe it's a little bit shaky, but it's still better than Rings of Power, which is not
Yes.
I mean, I'll-
not an achievement,
More.
I'll
but
tell
still.
you what, I think that most of the time scripts were handled. I mean, it was a little shaky, but the actor changes were mostly okay. Like I also
enjoyed
think-
it.
I
They
enjoyed the changes.
overlapped.
I mean, I love everything about actually that character, but I especially love how Viserys changes. Like,
Yes.
he's still
Oh
alive,
yes,
but
that
he's barely
was
alive.
perfect.
Yeah.
Amazingly done.
But one
And
of the
his Last
princes,
Supper.
For
one
that
of the princes had a weird change. At first, he was like very skinny guy jerking off at the top of the the Red Keep.
yeah.
And then suddenly he changed into the My Chemical Romance lead singer.
Yeah.
Like totally like I
Yeah.
was confused.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
okay.
His brother changes a lot more. He was like a
Yes.
little kid, and suddenly he's 40 years old.
Yeah.
I guess
And
losing
only
an
the
eye
eye
makes him,
patch,
like, age
only
faster.
the eye patch actually made me realize
Oh, yeah.
that he's the younger one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah, so there
was
are
it
some
Aegon and Aemon? Yeah, Aegon was the older one, and yeah, I talked with my friend, and she was like, yeah, I also thought that he's the older one, but then he doesn't have an eye, so
But like main characters, like for Rhaenyra, I like both actresses. Maybe
Yes.
Millie Milcock a bit better actually.
as well.
And
Agreed.
Olivia Moon as Alicent.
which is which?
The
Lily is
the younger
Rhaenyra.
version.
Rhaenyra.
Oh, okay,
Rhaenyra,
okay.
the younger one.
Ryanair.
yes. Yes, Rhaenyra. And the Lady Alicent.
She sorry, just
Actually, the casting was perfect because the older Lady Alicent looks like exactly like the kid Lady
Yeah.
Alicent. So that
Yeah.
was like I think that was the best casting choice for
Yeah.
her.
True.
the only nitpick I have for the second casting of Rhaenyra was that the nose gave it away, because the
Yeah,
first
a little
actress has like the
Oh yeah.
concave nose, yeah, and the other one is more rounded out.
Look, the maesters are very skilled. Maybe they just fixed it.
Yeah, maybe so, right?
Rhinoplasty, yes.
Rhinoplasty
They went
for
to
the win.
Essos and they
But
had
then-
special.
And then the first actress looks like the Disenchanted cartoon princess,
Yes,
right?
true.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
I'm not original with
They
this.
both
I
did
saw it
great
somewhere,
work.
but yeah.
Yeah,
But-
but another thing that I didn't like at the last episode, I'm off, and I liked Damon, cutting the head. That was cool.
Oh, it was
but
awesome.
in the last episode, we had this, another birthing scene with a dead fetus coming out. I just think that we could have traded that for something different, for something like head chopping or something like that. We didn't need to see that in so much detail.
I'll tell you what, I'm
It
okay
doesn't-
with showing.
It's
I,
not-
I would be okay with just the information that Her Grace miscarried.
Oh
No. I mean, I'm okay with showing it, but for me, it was like indulgent. Like I get it. Like honestly, I was like, come on, guys. I know that it's tragic, but can we go? Like I honestly. Like the first time they did it at the beginning of the show, I was like totally into it, right? It was also horrible. It was also terrible to watch. She dies. It's horrible. But there, it worked for me, and I didn't have any complaints. Here, it was like, oh my god.
Okay, guys, I have thoughts on this.
Okay,
'cause,
go on.
Because the first time, like the first prince being C-sectioned out, it's absolutely dramatic. Viserys telling his wife, "I love you, but sorry, I have to kill you because the throne." And the choice he has to make, absolutely terrifying, and heavy, and I loved it. The other time around, it's it's not a place of love, it's a place of fear, and just it's terrifying. It's absolutely unsettling. I was absolutely just moved by it, and not in a good way, but I dug it because it's like yeah, it's unsettling, fine, it's long, which adds to the unsettling atmosphere, and it's believe me, like from what I know from the books, it's supposed to be way more gory and way more just disturbing. It was supposed to be like a more scaly. They went with the easy road because they just put what's the thing,
umbilical cord.
the umbilical cord. Yeah, they just wrapped it around the baby's head, the babe's head, and it was a little bit deformed and all that, and it was more of a monster get it out of me in the books, and it was more scaly and more dragon-like. It's like, some kind of a curse, playing out on Rhaenyra. So and you in the books it was described as the screams being heard across the Dragonstone, and you get it here herself and
like more appreciation for the scene. I just think that it was just a little bit too much, just a little bit.
Yeah, and that's exactly why it works, because you want to turn your head away, you want to look away. It's like, okay, get over it, let's move to something else.
Like
yeah, because it's
with
like,
the Tarantino scene.
yes. But that was
that one.
I prefer this one. I prefer the dead baby. I'm sorry. This is
You don't like feet?
You know, like, Pete, what's wrong with you?
dude. Come on,
What a
man.
weirdo, man.
Yeah, man. Hey. You know
I
what?
mean-
That's fucking worse yet than this.
Like and subscribe, please. Leave a
I
comment.
mean-
yeah, fine.
Did you
we're gonna
like
have
Jason's
subscription.
feet? Leave a comment.
I mean, it's not like it's not like I was excited by the dead kid, but man, they wrote it well and they executed it well, and
Okay, so in that case, to not to gush too much about it, there was one thing I think we can all agree that is actually a minus to the show, and it's a minus to the writing, not to anything else, to the writing. And this is the only thing, because there was like small things, like I said, in the show that I kind of didn't like, but there was one thing that makes that go like to a full -1 point.
Yeah.
Only one thing, altogether with all the other nitpicks, and that is the prince that was promised.
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit. So like, because it's not, as far as I know, it's not in the original book, right? This is totally added now to the show with the dagger, and the king says that, the song of ice and fire, you must keep the rope together.
The danger
It's
from the north.
To tie it with Game of Thrones, and honestly, like of all the things to tie it with Game of Thrones with, you tie it with the one thing that is like one of the most painful things about season 8, the fact that this prophecy goes nowhere, and it's like, well, it goes nowhere.
Okay.
I'm excited about it. Like,
Yeah,
if,
that's true.
If this wasn't a prequel, and we had like a chance of maybe it's gonna come, like I think they're making the Jon Snow show.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll fix it there, but I don't know how. But okay,
How?
whatever. This feels like it's an unnecessary addition, only to tie it with Game of Thrones, but it's actually a bad tie-in. So it actually gets this awesome show like a little bit less, because they keep talking about it, like, please stop, like the dagger and stuff, like it goes nowhere. Why?
I
do it?
hear ya,
Just
but
mention it and move on.
I'm not sure whether you're right about this not being taken from the Blood and Fire book.
I don't know, because I didn't read the book. I only know the lore
So-
from like, Wikipedia from ages ago.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
Maybe
I'm
I
not
should read
I'm not
it.
sure. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. But judging by the show, for me it feels like it's there and it works. And I know it goes nowhere. I know they botched it in Game of Thrones. I know, but the fact that the dagger actually is something. It's not taken out of someone's ass.
No, true. I'll
Taken
give you
from
this.
a dead man.
If it wasn't for the fact that it goes nowhere, oh my god.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that it goes nowhere, I would have actually liked it, because it's a cool, like, oh wow, there's a prophecy. Ooh,
Yeah,
wow.
if I didn't know.
Okay,
Actually, it's a
fuck the
cool-
prophecy, man.
It's a cool idea. It's just that because it's a weird thing to say, because actually, like I said, if you take that away, I like it. It's just that when I know, okay, but it goes nowhere. Okay, it kind of did, see, but it's good stuff that's like ruined because they tied it in. If it wasn't tied in and it was something else that they came up with the same level of creativity, I would have loved it.
Yo,
But
if
here
if it's in the books and they skipped it, there would be blood on the streets.
honestly,
No, I
if
don't
they
think
skipped
so.
this, knowing how Game of
Nobody
Thrones
would
No,
goes,
but
I
no.
don't think people
Okay.
would care,
Yeah.
honestly. I
Okay,
would
so
feel like,
the
good choice.
vision of the Song of Ice and Fire, of the threat from the north, that's pretty core for the whole thing.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I totally, everything that they do in the show thematically with the North, and that's important, that all works. All I'm saying is that this tie-in, if it's, because maybe I'm wrong.
Just because it's called the Song of Ice and Fire,
No,
what's
let me
your
explain.
problem, man?
Like, look, everything here is fine. The only thing that ruins it for me is that I know that this cool prophecy, this like they're setting up something. Oh, it's cool, but then you know from Game of Thrones season 8 that it goes nowhere. There is no prince. There was promised.
So it's-
There's nothing.
And that terrible threat is being handled
So the
one
prophecy,
night.
so it's prophet. The
With this
prophecy is
knife.
kind of bullshit, and you know it's bullshit. So it's like, yeah, it's cool, but
So
like,
it's not this show's fault.
No, that's the thing, and that's why it's so weird because the show is doing everything great on this
Yeah.
front, but because it's connected to this thing that you know what happens,
Okay.
it ruins it.
It's
That's
like
the
you would
only
have a
thing,
new Star Wars movie and suddenly they reference Rise of Skywalker.
which is exactly
Oh.
what's going to happen. By the way, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I've heard some rumors.
Don't. Let's not go there.
died once. I died twice.
Somehow. So that's my only thing because that
Okay.
plus all the other nitpicks goes. That's one my.
So
Nitpicks.
my nitpick, if we're talking about the Song of Ice and Fire, my nitpick would be that they actually did the name better. I mean, it's the same name, but you know, in Game of Thrones, you have what was his name? The Maester guy.
Which one?
Sam?
Owen?
Sam,
Tarly.
yeah. Sam
yeah.
Tarly. He's like, oh, I've written a book and it's a Song of Ice and Fire. I was like, oh man, come on.
That was even worse.
Yeah. Did you make popcorn of that cob?
That's a
know,
a blatant
so corny.
Lord of the Rings ripoff. By
Oh,
the way.
then-
Yeah, that's true.
And it's a disgusting one. By the way.
Yeah, and then this one just is like, yo, we're all about dreams and dragons, and this guy had a dream, man, and he called it the Song of Ice and Fire. I'm like, yeah, okay,
is honestly
makes sense,
awesome.
right?
The
You know,
concept is
we have the
awesome.
fire. You know, he sees the threat in the ice. Perfect.
See,
you know?
again, a concept awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
But you know where it goes. It's like, it leaves it like a.
But you know, I mean, this show, the point of this show is not to bring you back to Game of Thrones.
It's not. Kind of is.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of like
It
an
is.
ointment. I think it's kind of like an ointment for, you know, to heal the wounds that Game of Thrones left us
that's
with.
true. So too.
Yes, however, George R.R. Martin being on Colbert the other night, he's like, oh well, I'm almost done with Winds of Winter, you know, saying that for the past 10 years, but you know,
Fool me once.
it's okay, but you know, it's more about bringing the people back into the books and getting a proper ending to the series.
Oh,
I think this is the point of this.
Maybe. Okay.
'Cause-
Honestly,
We'll
that's an
have to
interesting
see
theory.
then.
Interesting
You know,
theory.
it's Gen Pop trying to get its redemption for the amazing story that's been fucked up so badly.
Okay, so maybe let's talk about the good things that we loved about the show, or like
Everything else.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, particularly the acting,
Yes.
especially
dialogues.
the Paddy guy. So the guy who plays King Viserys, we see him from a middle-aged man who looks like normal, you know, in his prime, up till a walking corpse, basically.
Awesome.
Those scenes were amazing. Also, Damon is a very Matt Smith is. I think this is like his best.
Oh
role.
man, I
Definitely.
think
No,
so. Yeah.
Honestly, I prefer them in Morbius. To be honest. It's Morbid time, guys. It's Morbid time.
Yeah, that was cool as well. But he's definitely on my radar now after this role. I think he has a wide variety of different characters.
He's
that he can
opened.
play.
He's opened some doors for himself. Definitely.
Definitely,
And
yeah.
I mean, the character, dude. You're like, oh, this is gonna be the big bad of the show. It's like, oh, is he then?
No, he's more like a Tyrion almost in
No,
a sense.
No.
You forget about like the fact that he murdered his wife in cold blood. For
No,
example.
I'm not saying he is Tyrion, but it's like it's an interesting
He's
like.
more like Jamie, maybe. at
Or
first.
maybe no,
He's
like,
an anti-hero in this.
Either way, awesome
oh,
character.
so bad.
Yes,
But
yeah,
he's-
very. You never know what he's gonna do. He's like the wild cannon loose.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah. He's just
He
sitting
is-
there listening.
For
You
the
never-
D&D people, he is chaotic neutral, and you can feel it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect description. I
Dude,
agree.
like he goes in and out. You know, like I got this guy, man. Like, good for you, cutting his head off. You know, for insulting your nieces and
Yeah, he's
nephews.
neither good nor
Your
evil. He's just
niece
an
/
asshole.
wife. Yes.
Yeah. And
Neef.
and then he's like, oh man, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you, queen.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, I dug it actually, because
I mean, I was
he
interested
didn't
in
know
that.
he didn't know about the dream,
And he's one like, I don't give a shit. You know, my brother always had some fancy dreams.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. That's also like fits his character. He doesn't give a shit about stuff.
Plays
like
into it.
Plus,
Plays
it also
into
fits
it.
beautifully that he's like, he is not gonna be, you know, she is gonna be the queen. He is gonna be like a consort.
You know what
and
would
he
be
is the brother of the
You
king.
know
so
what
it's
would
gonna
be
like,
awesome if he
you
would
know.
hear this prophecy and he would say, you know what, this will probably go nowhere. So fuck it.
Oh man. Oh man.
Or he should be like, oh wait, I've seen that one. It's the one with the girl who goes, it goes nowhere.
I had a dream as well. There was this little girl with a dagger and she ended it. So don't worry about it.
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it too much.
A girl with a changing face. That's.
But you know the shots, the close,
Acting,
the
the
acting, the
characters,
close-ups,
the
the
dialogue.
close-ups for the actors, and you know the subtle movements of their faces, you know the mimic, and oh man, the dialogues, you know, and the structure of the story, and I really enjoyed the time jumps because. For me, it was kind of. I mean, yes, I've read somewhere. Oh, there's gonna be time jumps. There's gonna be different actors. I'm like, okay, fine.
That's something new.
That's something
Yes.
new.
And they
Also up
handled it. I mean, in terms of casting, almost everyone is very good.
For me, it was
There's only a couple
quite
bad
seamless. Maybe because I was prepared for it, but it was quite seamless because the actors actually overlapped in like over an episode or two here and there. And it worked super well.
It
The
mostly
high,
was.
Hightower was the biggest giveaway for me, and
He was
but-
cool. Yeah,
but
that
he
actor is
but
great
he
as well.
acted so well. I can forgive that. It's such a douchebag, man.
Well, important question then, and especially to you because you rewatched it recently.
Yes.
Is this as good as Game of Thrones season 1?
I would say now this is a very good question because I actually did rewatch it because after we started watching, we started watching this. I mean, I started watching the show altogether. We started watching it. I was like, man, this is really good, and I was like, I wanted to have this comparison.
Yeah,
I had some extra time on my hands. So I was like, okay, let's rewatch it. And I'll tell you what, it's like after watching the whole season of this, and recently with Game of Thrones season 1, I would say that altogether with the whole season, I would say it's either this. It's not the same level because I still think Game of Thrones season 1 was still kind of better because it was also
concise,
new.
yeah, more,
and the ending was a little bit more like this one was a great ending to be fair, but the ending there was like more shocking.
Yes.
in a sense.
Yeah.
So I still think Game of Thrones is a little better, but this one is like right below it. Like it's almost the same, but I still think Game of Thrones season 1 is better. But this is a great return to form. It's like it brings you back to the
Washes
same
the
scheming.
bad taste.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And honestly, by the way, I can also confirm because I was like after season 8, I thought I would never watch Game of Thrones again. So I can quickly also give this shout out. And for years I was like, it's done. I'm done with this stuff. Honestly, I think that especially after this break and with this new show, I think I can highly recommend. It should be rewatched. Game of Thrones is still worth it. It's still good. Season 8 still painful, and that's why I was also more bothered by this prophecy because it's fresh in my mind.
It's a fresh
now.
wound.
And
Yeah,
it goes nowhere, man. And
you're picking your scabs, man.
However, even though I criticize it, I have to say once again another point of comparison with Rings of Power. They also had a prophecy that goes like nowhere, and here once again. Well, I mean, with the stuff with the. You could say that there was this thing with Sauron falling in love and all that kind of. It's maybe not a prophecy, but this kind of strange visions and stuff. And they did have a vision with the Palantir and the destruction of Numenor. So that was the one I was thinking about. So even there they have a prophecy, and they also fucked it up. The Palantir is a dangerous tool, Saruman.
It can spoil everything.
Yes, exactly. And here they did it, and even though, like I said, it goes nowhere, but the way they execute it is fucking awesome.
So I was gonna say that from what I remember, and I've seen Game of Thrones twice because I was preparing for seasons 7 and 8, I think, and rewatching it back in the day, still a few years back. But I remember the first season of Game of Thrones being a little bit more exciting and shocking, yes, at the end. But I thought that maybe I was younger and more enthusiastic about life, and that was the reason. But now that you actually confirmed that, yes, I did like it a little bit more. And I was really skeptic about this one. I was really skeptic.
I know, I remember.
Oh,
we were
man.
like, oh yeah, we're watching House of Dragons. We were like,
Yeah, skip
but
it.
it's a
Save me the
natural
time.
reaction. I also was very skeptical about this. and they were like, "Wow, you pulled it off."
I wasn't interested in it at all. Maybe I wasn't skeptical. Was like, really, Game of Thrones? Come on.
Yeah,
I
who
honestly
cares?
wanted the other prequel because they had like a whole bunch of them planned.
Oh yeah,
and there was one that they
plans.
canceled was about like
Black
the Long
Sun.
Night, which was terrible. About the children of the forest and the backstory.
Okay.
That was honestly after season 8. Fuck that. No. But there was another one that they were
bad idea.
making that I wanted more. I now changed my mind, but after seeing this, but there was one that they were trying to do like about Valyria when they were like Valyria at its peak before the doom and the destruction and all that, and I was like, man, I want to see that because it's like ancient. Because some people said there was rumors that the idea was like Rome, the HBO show Rome, but in like Valyria, and it's like Rome and different stuff and different, and they would also have like mixed like different. They wouldn't because they also wanted to make it so that it's not like Game of Thrones. Everybody's a white guy, right? And even here they changed it, which was a cool change, by the way.
And it worked.
And it worked a lot. It perfectly worked, by the way.
And they gave them a whole house. Yes.
Representation done right. Which again, Rings of Power, there's representation, not so great. Here, done perfectly. And I loved it. And it's beautifulully woven into the story. It's great. And they wanted to do the same with Valyria. They wanted to do like different houses and stuff. I was like, man, that sounds cool. And I was disappointed. This one, But then I watched it, and I know from old Wikipedia readings what's coming in season 2. Man, I can't wait.
Just wanted to throw this in. I really liked, and I just realized this now, that when they accuse Rhaenyra of banging this cloak guy, not
Cole. I think. Kristen
no,
Cole.
The other guy.
Okay.
Yeah, the strong guy.
Yes.
Yeah, and instead of her husband, they're not referencing the color of the skin of the children.
Yeah.
They're referencing the color of their hair.
Just
and
like season 1.
Dude, this is amazing because all the fucking racist haters have nothing on this shit, man.
Honestly, it works perfectly, and it's not in the books, but I was like, and at first I was like, man, this is gonna work. And it not only does, but it's awesome. I love it. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's like an elephant in the room, and it's like nobody wants to say it, but they want to say it. And even though someone might say they're black, they're not. They're supposed to be white, but nobody. As you said, it's all about the Targaryen white.
Yeah.
Fucking great. I loved it.
There were so many cool scenes that had tension, even though there was no fighting, fireworks or anything like that. For example, the dinner scene with all the king. Ooh. There was tension in the air so much, and I just I couldn't. I was at the edge of my seat.
What's gonna be the next toast? And then you get the pig. Oh.
And not to mention something that I thought I would never see in a show like this: Kid Bowl. We had the Clegan Bowl, and we had the Kid Bowl where the kids
I don't remember seeing that anywhere else. Like kids really like duking it out.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like not expecting it. I thought
4 against 1 or something, and
the dialogue after that was one of the best in Game of Thrones when he said like. It was a good trade, mother. I lost an eye, but I got a dragon.
Yeah.
And the biggest dragon of them all.
Yeah.
Great line.
And
done.
It was supposed to be mine. Well, you should have taken it, bitch.
Yeah.
What's up?
Awesome stuff.
Dude,
Honestly, that's the one thing I was kind of missing. I'm hoping that they're going to get into that in the new seasons. There's the one thing I was a little bit missing, more of the dragon lore. Like the Targaryen, like how because they had the trainers in a couple of scenes where they were talking Valyrian, the dragons. I was like, man, more of that. I want to see.
A little bit. Yes, a little bit.
How do you? How are you supposed to does the dragon pick you? How does the process work? I know it's maybe lore stuff, but I want to more where they were still doing it, right?
But they're not blowing their load all at once.
I know.
I agree. That line was really cool. Like, I lost an eye, but I got a dragon. If the writers of Rings of Power would handle that, they would go like that line would.
There was an eye in me.
No, it would be like, I wanted a dragon, and now I have a dragon.
Yeah.
That would be it. Yeah. So this is the different level of writing, I think, between.
Before he said that, he would be like, his mother is standing here, his eye is gone. It's like, mommy.
It's like just like the guy who had the hilt.
Yes.
Guys, okay, we're over an hour. Let's wrap it up. Let's
rate them up.
Rate them up.
Okay.
Who wants to start and with what show? Which show goes
I
first?
can go because it's
okay.
very simple for me. It's
Sure.
it's a very simple. Honestly, it's like honestly, this is perfectly. That's why I love that we're doing both of these shows at the same time. Because if we were only talking about Rings of Power, it'd be just depressing. And
No.
stuff. And this one is so positive, so we can end on a good note.
Yeah.
And I'll start with a bad one.
Yeah.
They're
Rings of
perfect mirrors. To me, Rings of Power, it's a 2 out of 10 because it's like, look, it played. Like you could watch it, and there's like cool stuff to look at. Like there's like some of the visuals are good.
It's such a background show.
Yeah, even though honestly, the Numenor that's hashtag not my Numenor, but whatever. I'm not gonna get into that anymore. It's done. It's over. Fine. And again, see this show. It's like I finished season 1. I gave it a chance. I never want to see it again. It's a 2. It barely works. And on the other spectrum, it's not a 10, but it's a 9. It's a strong 9. House of the Dragon. I'm even gonna call it that, even though House of the Wyvern is more appropriate. But whatever. House of the Dragon. 9 out of 10. It's again not perfect, just like that one is not like a 0 or a 1. It kind of plays, it kind of works, although the lore is completely raped. Here, the lore is respected, everything is awesome, and unlike that, the other one where I'm like done and I never want to watch it again, ever. In fact, I never said this, and I'll say this only once. This is the only exception I will say this. I never tell people that because I know that people work on this, people get money, and there's like livelihoods, but I never hope for shows being canceled. Because of that. I just, if I don't like it, I just don't watch it. Let other people enjoy it. But here, with Rings of Power, fucking cancel that shit, man. Fuck that shit. On the other side of the spectrum, House of the Dragon, I cannot wait. 18 months for season 2. No!
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Yes. 9 out of 10.
Okay, perfect. So, so we'll also start with the worst one. So, for me, Rings of Power, it's a 3 out of 10. Yeah, it's there are some things that I liked. At first it was like I was having hope it's gonna get better. It didn't, hence the low score. But I like the visuals. Some of those visuals were nice. I like the Durin stuff. And fuck, what else? Yeah, that's the problem. Actually.
Bring the meat.
So yeah, I
Orcs,
don't want
orcs
to see.
having
I don't want to see season 2. I like orcs having the snake skin. That was kind of clever.
Yeah.
And Adar. I liked Adar actually. I would like to see more of him. But all in all, I don't want to see season 2 unless they change the writing team, because this is atrocious. And the people who had barely any experience took up one of the most famous and greatest stories ever. I think these people have sheer fucking hubris to even try to do something like that.
Take
They
that
should
job,
have the
man.
humility to say, listen, I'm an amateur, I did just a couple of shows, somebody else should do Lord of the Rings, not me. Okay, so you fucked it up. You just did
Or
that
at
for
least
money.
or at least mix up the writing team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know what Amazon should do? They should do this.
Yes.
Might as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And when it comes to House of Dragon, this might be controversial, but I think I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I think it's very good. But first of all, I need to give a little more leeway for the next seasons, because I think there's a potential of the next seasons of being way better than this. This I enjoyed. However, there are some things that I've mentioned before, the time jumps, some of the... I think we could have get a bit more dragon stuff, learn more about the dragons, a bit more. I don't even remember their names very well, so it could have been focused more on the dragons a bit. And there are some episodes, like episode 9, I remember, I don't know if you noticed this, but every season of Game of Thrones, the most controversial and eventful episode was number 9. Season 1, Ned Stark got beheaded. Season 2, the battle at the Red Keep. Season 3, the Red Wedding. Season 4, the Purple Wedding. I think something like that. That was all episodes 9. And here, episode 9 actually was a bit uneventful. So there were parts in the show.
Maybe that was the shocking thing. You're expecting something. Expectations.
Yeah.
In general, I think it's a solid series. It washes away the bad taste after season 8 for sure, but it's for me still not the height of Game of Thrones. The first seasons, it's not as focused and concise, and the characters, even though they're great, it's still not like like the super awesome amazing like Tyrion, Jaime, Cersei, So that's why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, but still I'm very happy about it and can't wait for season 2.
Okay, that's actually really good. Okay, let me start with Rings of Power. For me, like I say, it looks like Christian rock, like it's written by a congregation to turn teenagers back to God and whatnot, and it's a lame attempt at something amazing. And although it has its moments, like the priestesses, which are Nazguls for some reason, I don't know, but but it's not the worst thing in that thing. The duel between them and alleged Gandalf, and what else? And the sheer power behind the hilt, like the flashes of fire, like it kind of fractalizing in their head. That kind of worked for me in the first episode or two, I think. But everything else is just no. It's such a no. 3 is, I think, is the top I can give it. Like
Generous.
two I think it's a little bit harsh because I don't know.
For me, it's because of the lore. I would have given
Okay,
it a 3.
fine.
As a lover of the lore, I'm like, nah, man, you just
Fine.
misplaced
Okay,
it.
I respect that. I'm gonna be generous and give it a 3, and then I'm also gonna give an 8 to House of the Dragon, because I actually think just to piss people off, because it's amazing, and I think it could have been, it can be a 9, but yeah, you gotta give leeway. You're like, let's
I
not
did give leeway. It's like there's
There's a
two could be
10?
a 10.
yeah, I know, but
Don't fail me, HBO.
But I think it's in character for the show to not give it the proper score that it deserves. That's how I feel about it. And we didn't mention the amazing scene of Lucerys being eaten by Vhagar.
Yes. The last one.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Maybe he's alive. Maybe he had a parachute.
They cut the music. There was no music, just the dragons, and then when the music starts, you see the silhouette of Vhagar, and like, whoa, man! It's like it's like a little Cessna against a jumbo jet, man. Dude, this is amazing. I loved it. I loved it so much.
The entire scene from the beginning where he lands and the lightning strikes and he sees the
Oh,
dragon.
yeah, the giant head.
Beautifully done.
That was
Although
my favorite shot, I think.
Yeah, although
That's
that's the point where he should be like, well, nope, coming back to Dragonstone, and like, yeah, they beat us to it,
Honestly,
But
to reference Game of Thrones,
But he wanted to go back.
if I landed my dragon and I saw that dragon in the distance and I know that's the enemy's dragon, I would be wishing that I wore brown pants to reference Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there we go. But what else? The dead giveaway for me. I was like, from the very beginning of the episode, like, Luke is dying this episode. I was like, yeah, there's too much focus on him, too much focus on him being groomed by Rhaenyra. There's a close up of her rubbing her finger against his hand when she gives the note or whatever it was.
And the Bible thing.
The Bible thing, yeah, all that. It's just a dead giveaway. I was like, oh man, it's I can smell it from a mile away, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because it's gonna be amazing, and he kind of has it coming, and there has to be a shocker twist, for to end the season. Yeah, it's done really well.
Nice death, like.
Yeah, and you get to see the dragon chopped in half, and the wings just it's like tearing off the wings of a mosquito. That's what it actually reminded me of. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. I love the characters, maybe not all of them, but Daemon and Viserys worked like a charm. Rhaenyra is solid as fuck. Alicent is amazing and disgusting, yeah, Loris was his name. Yeah.
Yes.
Dude.
Laris.
I
Laris.
love to hate.
He's like the cool,
Oh man, he's such a slimy snake. I mean,
It's like Varys, but with a cock.
and Varys
Yeah.
from the first season, not the last useless
Yes,
Varys.
of course.
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. It's
Well-
like because Varys was always proud of him that like he doesn't feel love, he doesn't care about that stuff because he's just only focused on the realm. And this guy's like he's the scheming type, but he's got his own taste. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like this new take. I like
I
that
mean,
he's a
he's
creepy guy.
he's such a cartoon though.
Yeah, I know, but it's,
Yeah, but
I
with
love to
the
hate
with the
him.
cane and the hunch, hunchback and
I actually hope that it's a fake hunch, that he's actually walking fine, just like Maester, what's his face? The
Kaiser
Grand Maester.
Soze.
The Grand Maester
Like-
had the same thing in Game of Thrones. where
Maybe,
it's always
maybe.
like, oh.
Like in the meme, I love the meme, like hand of the king, feet of the queen.
I love it as well. Awesome.
I didn't see that one, but I love it now. Okay, with that, let's end, guys. This has been.
Let's just hope. I'll finish this with hopeful for House of the Dragon. Let's just hope that they stick there to this plan, and we don't have season 2 where it's like somehow Lucerys has returned.
Somehow the House of the Dragon
No,
turned
that-
it into the Rings of Power.
That guy's dead. That guy.
He had a parachute, I'm sure.
It would help, even if he had.
No,
one.
he's in a Sarlacc pit. He's gonna
Look,
get out.
I loved it. I honestly, some people complained about the Bible scene where they was like, "Please don't do any fighting. Please be safe." And it's like, to me, it's like, yes, it's a little telegraphed, but it's like the writers like almost subtly telling you, "Look, this character's gonna have plot armor," and then he gets fucking killed.
Yeah.
It's like, psych. No.
Psych in your
It's kinda cool. I
face,
like
in
it.
your
It's
face.
Awesome.
Okay, with that, let's finish it up. This has been the reviews and opinions. I don't fucking know. You call it yourself.
Yeah, give us your opinion.
Yeah, what's your-
Especially if you think that Rings of Power are better than House of Dragons.
Oh,
I want to know your
yes.
opinion. I want to
Yes.
know your.
What's your logic,
Yeah,
man?
what's your logic, please? There's no, discrimination here. We're not gonna make fun of
Exactly.
anyone.
And if you're on something, tell us, because that must be strong stuff.
Oh, I mean,
if you like Rings of Power, I want to know what that stuff is.
why? Why would you like
Oh,
it?
I know a friend of mine actually liked it, gave it a 7 out of 10, and she wrote that it's beautiful, it's nice. You just need to remember that it's for a younger audience. Like, but
I hope.
I don't buy that. I'm sorry.
I hope that you're no longer friends with.
Okay, guys. So leave it in the comments below. What you think about the two shows? Which one was better in your opinion? What did you like? What didn't you like? What do you agree and disagree with us
Yes.
about the shows? Yeah. Critique. Yes.
It's the mother of,
constructive discussion.
Constructive
Exactly.
discussion.
Well said.
Yeah. And then
Much better dialogue.
keep an eye out for She-Hulk because that's coming.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Pierogeeks.